This is your second season playing ranked, or League of Legends as well.
League of Legends in general.
Wow. Did you play any other kind of game similar, like Dota or anything before this?
No, not really.
Wow, okay. So you're doing pretty well. I mean, particularly like I'm looking at your last 60 games here. I assume you can see my screen. And look at this
Yeah,
win rate. You've actually got a really, really high win rate here compared to your overall. Now,
yeah,
what that suggests is that you've come a long way this season. So I assume at the start of the season that was probably pretty rough. Looking at your overall win rate, it suggests that the
yeah.
start of the season this was probably almost negative or very maybe high
Mhm.
40s. And now as you've gotten better, you're actually starting to have a really good win rate. The only problem is I don't know how much you know about the League MMR system, but because you've played over five or about 500 games in bronze, the League of Legends system thinks you're a bronze player, regardless of whether you're playing like a bronze player or not, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I also gain like 14 LP if I win a
Yeah.
round, maybe less, and I lose like 17 or 18 if I lose.
Yeah. Let me get. What is your goal rank actually? That you want to get
Um,
to this season?
how long is this season? Do you know
It
that?
goes to about I think September, October. So
Well,
we're a bit past halfway.
yeah. I would like to get to silver.
Yeah. Um. Okay.
Um,
Yeah. Silver. Easy.
Honestly, well, higher is if possible, but I think silver is realistic.
Silver four is your first goal.
It's,
Awesome.
yeah.
So one, I definitely think you can get silver for. I actually think you can get gold for, and I'll tell you a little bit about why I think that. But just quickly before we go there, could you? Sorry, do you remember what your LP gain and LP loss is?
LP gain was 14 and LP loss was 17.
Okay. 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 So looking at this is just a kind of a rough calculator. Looking at your current win rate based on your last 60 games, obviously that's not going to stay the same, but it's going to take really long for you to climb. So looking
Yeah.
at this here, you can basically see when you're at a 68% win rate, but you're only gaining 14 and you're losing 17. It's about you're gaining about 4 LP a game is how you look at it once you minus the negatives and the you work it out. So
Yeah.
what that basically means is for every so if you want to go from bronze 2 0 LP to bronze 1, it's going to take you 25 games and the average game is what 30 minutes. So 25 times 30 like it's a lot of hours for you to climb bronze 1 to bronze 2 to bronze 1 to silver 4 to silver 3, etc., etc. So
Yeah.
one, I think this account can definitely get to silver. The way you could get to gold this season is if you start a new account. Now, I recommend you do start a new account, but also I'm aware that some players, this is your first account, you might have a lot of skins on it, or you might have some emotional attachment to it. And so, what I would personally recommend if you're really wanting to get out of bronze, I mean, clearly you're not a bronze player. No bronze player has a 68% win rate in their last 60 games. I would say you're probably sitting around a high silver play style at the moment, looking at your win rate. Without any coaching or anything like that, I honestly think you can get to gold for this season, but it would require you to start a new account. So,
Yeah.
first, I want to know is that something you would be willing to do?
I did make a new account, but I don't play much on it, so it's
Okay.
like
What's
level
its.
11.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Um,
Yep.
yeah, so I haven't played ranked on that yet.
Okay. So, what I would recommend is not actually leveling up an account to 30. What I would recommend is, let's see. I have no affiliation with these guys. Let me see. Um,
And I had some friends help me, give me some tips about role. I also started in jungle, and then moved to ADC.
Okay. Okay, so this is what I'd recommend. So instead of leveling up an account, I don't have any affiliation with this site. You can do your own research. But what I'd recommend is actually buying a level 30 account. They're really cheap. I don't know how much they are. EU West. Sorry, you don't want to smurf. You just want to... just want unranked. How do I get an unranked account? Okay, so you can go here. I don't know exactly where to go, but what I'd recommend is you just buy a fresh account that's level 30 and you start your rank climb to gold using that account. Looking at what you're playing right now, I would highly recommend. I assume you're wanting to continue to play the AD carry role, or what are you kind of wanting to do?
No, I want to keep playing the AD carry.
Cool. Okay. So what I recommend is so there's two ways. You can either level that account to 30 that you're currently leveling. It's going to take a while. Or you just do your research and buy a fresh level 30 account. The only thing to do if you are buying a fresh level 30 account is just make sure it's got a lifetime warranty. Chances are it'll never get banned. I've bought multiple level 30 accounts. They've never got banned. But that is the easiest way to do it. And then you can literally start getting into this climbing from unranked to gold tomorrow or today even, whenever you buy that account. So that's what I recommend. Yeah. And I would also recommend sticking to a really tight champion pool. So pick 2 to 3 of your best AD carries. If you can actually one trick, I'd recommend one tricking. So if you really love Jinx or something, or Kai'Sa, and you are happy to one trick, you're going to climb the fastest if you're one tricking. But if you want to have still a bit of champion diversity, I would recommend about 2 to 3 champions in your champion pool, and then maybe have a 4th and a 5th as AD carry, but you really don't play them. You don't want to play them. You want to keep that champion pool small so you can climb to gold in the quickest time possible. And then once you get gold and you're at quite a high standard of play relative to your skill level, that's when you can start learning champs in that higher rank, or going back to this current account that's bronze and learning new champions. And so what you'll eventually do is you'll have one account that is your high rank, gold account that you play your best champions on. And then you have your second account, like this one, for example, that will be your account where to play when you're like tilted, when you want to try a new rollout, when you want to try a new champion, or when you're just not feeling like playing ranked on your main account. But you're still wanting to play some ranked League of Legends, competitive League of Legends. Now, that strategy I basically just explained to you is how I've helped get hundreds of players to the goal rank they want to get to, whether it's silver, whether it's gold, whether it's platinum, whether it's diamond. And that you can do on your own without any coaching. Like that, you can literally start doing tomorrow, and all you have to do is have that fresh level 30 account, that really tight champion pool, and then just split your play between that account and this account.
Yeah.
Then in terms of okay, so that's that strategy, but also if you are looking for coaching, I noticed what you said in your comment. Let me just get it up. So I want a general idea about the coaching and if it's something for me. I'm looking to improve, but I'm overwhelmed all the things to learn because I don't know where to focus on and where to start. So to be honest, what I'd recommend is you go start this new account and play maybe 30 to 50 games on it, and then come back to me after those games and we can talk about maybe what you want to do. Or if you want to ask some questions about coaching now, I'm happy to, and we can start coaching tomorrow if you want. But I honestly would recommend you start that new account first. Get to a rank that you actually should be playing in, because you shouldn't be playing in bronze at the moment. You should be probably playing mid-silver, high-silver with your rank. So I don't want to be looking basically at games where you're playing very high above the standard or the average of players, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, I've been talking a lot. Did you have any questions about coaching in general or anything like that?
Well, I saw some coaching options
Yep.
on your site. Just one session or multiple sessions.
Yep.
Um, well, we can discuss that later if I played a couple games on that other account.
Yep.
But is there anything you recommend more for like um, faster improvement?
Yeah, so for you, I've got a couple of options. So it really depends on how you like to learn. I have one-on-one sessions with, on my site, you would have seen the one-on-one sessions. That's with my challenger coach, and he's also a pro player at the moment. He's really
Yeah.
good at teaching macro and understanding the game at a really good advanced level that understands, okay, this is how you win a game, this is how you lose a game. No matter what rank you're in, this is basically the steps to do to win a game every single time. And it creates a consistent he will create a consistent framework for you as an AD carry to win more games. So
Yeah.
that is really good because it's a one-on-one 60-minute session with him where not only will he go through a game that you have that you want to review, he'll also sit down before that and have an introduction session to you, understand a little bit more about you, and then figure out, okay, this is exactly what this person needs to do to climb. Then he'll look at your gameplay and go, okay, this is what to implement.
Yeah.
Now, that's really good. So that's really good for people who like that one-on-one direct coaching. And then I also have a service that I'm going to be kicking up in the next couple of weeks that'll be $10 a month, and it will be boot camp sessions, so group classes. Think like when you're at school, it'll be group lessons, so it's more affordable, but it will be, in classrooms of 10 to 15 people hosted on Discord weekly, and the topics will be a bit more general, but will teach you everything you need to know in League of Legends, but it won't be as personalized to you, but it's more affordable. So those are basically the two, services I would recommend to a player like you. But at the end of the day, it's kind of really up to how you like to learn and what is sounding the most attractive to you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand.
Awesome. And then, so how you said we're talking. Sorry, I talk a lot. You were saying buying one session or multiple sessions. I always recommend you just buy one session, and I have 100% money back guarantee. So if you are not happy with the coaching session, I'll give you a full refund. But that way I like to give it to people so that there's a completely risk-free way for new players like yourself to try coaching, because sometimes people have bad coaching experiences or they're a bit unsure whether they want to spend money on it, or they don't understand the value of it.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, once you actually have that session, the money, it's going to be worth it.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome. Did you have any other questions?
Do you have uh, what do you think are the best AD carries to play now?
Cool. Yeah, that's a great question. So I like to use a site such as u.gg. I don't like to base questions like that off personal experience because, one, I think individual players are going to climb quicker on certain champs, right? So, like, for example, right now, Sivir has the highest win rate, in Plat Plus with a 22% pick rate. Let's bring this down a bit to you. Let's just go Silver. So you can see Sivir's still up here. But if someone like you has never played Sivir before, well, I wouldn't recommend you play Sivir. So for you personally, I'd literally recommend the champions that you're having success on. So like I can see here, your Jinx is quite good. Sorry, let me just try and get a bigger pool. Cool. It looks like you're quite good at all AD carries, but looking here, I would say these three are probably your best. Varus just got buffed. Kai'Sa is not going to get nerfed for ages. She's basically in a very healthy state for how Riot Games wants her to be. And Jinx as well is in a pretty stable state in the fact that Riot Games, they're not really looking at nerfing or buffing Jinx or Kai'Sa at the moment. So that's really good because, one, you're very good on them. You can see that you're basically playing above average, right? 68%, 78%. Let's have a quick look. Kai'Sa's currently at a 48% win rate. Jinx is at 48. So basically what that means is these champions are weak in the meta, but because you're quite good on them, you're really good on them. And it's actually a good thing that the meta sees the champion as weak, because it means they're not going to get nerfed, but they could get buffed, which just means your current win rates are going to go up more. So the best 80 carries to climb, if I didn't know the player and I said there was 100 people asking me, hey, what's the best 80 carry to climb on? I'd say play Sivir. But looking at your account, I would say, well, let's look at your win rates on your past performance. And we can see that your Kai'Sa, your Varus, and your Jinx are probably your highest win rate champs, your best bets.
Yeah.
I can also look at this. This might give me a bit more data here. Excellent. Your Sejuani was pretty good as well. Your Sejuani and Dino, so I think you've got a lot of natural skill here. Like, look at your jungler stats as well. I think you're a pretty good player. And what I'd recommend is you queue up 80 carries primary and jungle secondary, which I assume you do already, right?
Yeah, or support, because it's...
sorry, could you repeat that?
Also, I'm also queue support secondary.
Yeah.
Because, well, I now know the bot lane dynamics.
Yeah, that makes sense. Awesome. Yeah, so look at your account. You're a pretty naturally skilled player, which is really good for you, because it means your natural skill, like, you're gonna get quite far in League of Legends before you hit that roadblock. The only reason you've hit a roadblock this season is because you were still learning the game. But now it looks like you've learnt, like, you don't know the game like a challenger player does, or someone who's been playing for 5 years, but you're at a really good point in League of Legends now for a new player, or relatively new player, where you actually have played now 500, 600, 700, maybe 800 games or so over the last 2 years. And you're in a really good spot now where you actually understand the basics of the game, and you're starting to build a champion pool. You're starting to figure out what role you like, what roles you don't like, and you're starting to understand, I know bot lane dynamics now and how it applies to the game. So you're in a really cool and exciting spot. But yeah, going back to your original question, play those champs with your highest win rates, the Kai'Sa, Varus, and Jinx.
All right.
Did you have any other questions?
Not really, so far.
Awesome. No problem. So yeah, what I'd recommend again, I would highly recommend you try out that one-on-one coaching. Once you've got that new account, you've played maybe 20, 30 games, and you're now like, okay, I need someone to look at this game. I don't know what I did wrong. Or it feels like I did something wrong here, but I'm really not sure. Or, maybe have 5 or 10 bad games in a row, and you're kind of like, I'm not understanding the pace of the game, or what's meant to happen in what order. Or the game feels like out of your control. That's when I'd say, let's book that session in with my challenger coach.